Friday, the 3rd of February, and look outside. There's about 4 inches of snow, 15 centimeters, and we're getting a little bit of snow there now. Not too much. It's been a bit cold there as of late. We got our Yamaha put outdoors under the tarp. She don't like that. Used to being in a nice warm garage. But the reason for that today is, of course, another project. Two overlapping projects here now, which is not always the best thing to do, because you have a half a quad and half a trike. Anyway, before I get ahead of myself, I just drained oil there and took the two front fender liners off. That is a 2003 Honda fourtrax 350 that I picked up last week from a gentleman in Gander. He bought it off his stepfather and never used it. He said he didn't know if it was ever in third gear or fourth gear. So you take all that with a grain of salt. So we did agree on a price. It has a little over 6,000 kilometers, which is just broke in, I guess, for them engines. 4 brand new bear claw tires, new front winch. Of course, the accessories now is the front windshield flaring. We have a Kimpex back cargo box. Great condition. Connection there for the sled on our ball. The thing is in overall great shape. But as sometimes usually occurs with these little gems, some people gets their hands on them and starts skinning wires or you know, taking stuff apart, not putting it back together, and just backyard mechanic specials. So I got it with the neutral light on, started in every gear. So the first thing I thought now was the neutral reverse switch, which can lead to a broken shift drum. You know, it's almost like a snowmobile, but the speedometer broke. You know, the first thing you're going to say is not speedometer, it's jack shaft bearing, front engine or front drive wheel bearing. So if something seems so simple and so cheap, it turns into usually a bit more of a job. So what it's doing actually, along with the neutral light on at all times, it's hard to shift. So the first thing I did was adjust the clutch, and there's a lot of play in the gear shifter. So now it's shifting better, but there's a lot of gear clash, especially upshift. First and second reverse seems to be fine. So hopefully it's not that sensor in the rear, and it's not the shift drum. Sensor is not too bad. You take the rear end out, the rear axle swing arm, then you can access the sensor or the switch. Sorry. So upon further inspection, you know, I'm not too concerned about the neutral light. Well, we'll fix it later on, but this is just going to be a one for up on the land. Now I need a 2-up seat. We're going to be doing some work up around the land in Charlie's place and doing some environmental assessments and stuff. So you want to quad with a couple people, and plus our work as guardians. Sometimes you need an older machine put aboard the boat. This is not too big to put in the boat, so. Anyway, we're going to check the shift plate. Now that is behind the front cover, clutch cover. As you know, these engines are side on. It's not like the beauty as it was to work on them trikes and the Hurley quads. You could just pop off and access the flywheel, stator, clutch without even taking anything off the machine. But what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to release that shaft, front drive shaft, unhook the rear end, slide that forward, tip this mother up back up on her ass, from lack of a better word, tip her right up vertical, and we're going to get in and pop that plate off. and check the shift plate. And there's also complaints about these, or conditions, that the star wheel, the bolt in the center, could back off. So anyway, you know, I bought it knowing, you know, in figuring that it could be something simple, but I had it in the back of my mind that it could be something more, you know, more in detail, in depth. I went through all the wiring. There was wires chopped off the stator over there. There was tape. Anywhere I seen black tape, electrical tape. And there was a wire spliced into the battery. That's what they got. They got a bypass now. They got a battery, or a positive wire, or a negative wire going to ground. And ran right to the solenoid wire, which is giving you power all the time. Like I say, it's less than 6,000 kilometers on it. I just figured I'd take the chance. Nothing wrong with that engine. It's bulletproof. Like you say, it almost starts before you presses the button. Just touch the button. And found a couple of wires. I found the fan wire. They must have thought that the thermostat, the switch for the cutting the fan in, which is on the gear shifter. Hard to see. Apologize, but that's a blue wire, and it was cut off. So, like you say, somebody gets at these machines and can totally throw a wrench into anybody else down the road. So we got the oil draining now. I guess the question to ask here, $2,000, deal or no deal? Because if it's nothing, if there's nothing apparent in the shift plate, then we go to the shift drum, which means Nightmare on Elm Street. The motor got to come out, case got to be split, transmission got to come out, and that's something that we're not looking forward to doing. But I think the machine is worth it. So that would answer the question, deal or no deal. If I can get this straightened away today, probably order a gasket and a shift plate, I would say deal, because in around here, central Newfoundland, that's a $4,000 machine. Brand new battery, 40 tires, $1,000 worth of accessories. You know, somebody get on that, and the side step bars or the foot pegs. Somebody want to get 10 years out of that machine, no worries. So I'll let you answer the question. On our next video, we'll probably answer the question for you, deal or no deal. So anyway, happy Friday to everyone, and we'll give you an update ASAP. All the best. Over and out.